Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to Slayer Talk. My name is Mark. With me as always is my fiance Carol. How are you doing today, Carol?
Hey, what's up?
Not much. It's been a good week here. It's December 15th, 1998.
Christmas is coming.
And this is the Christmas episode.
It is. How weird is that?
Of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Amends, it's called. And not 3 Wise Amends. No, making amends, I guess, although...
that doesn't really happen.
It doesn't really happen in the episode.
No.
Not much happens in the episode.
No, it was kind of a useless episode.
It's a really big waste of time. There is one thing that happens in the episode that I suppose has ramifications for the future. But other than that, it's a big nothing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't love it.
So let's talk about this big nothing, Carol.
Sure.
It starts with the biggest nothing of all, Angel.
Angel's having nightmares. That's what this episode should be titled. Angel's Nightmares.
It's like that Freddy show that they made, Freddy's Nightmares or whatever it was called.
Oh my god, they made a show like that?
You don't remember that?
I do not.
Yeah, it was called, I want to say it was called Freddy's Nightmares. It was Freddy Krueger, and it was like a anthology. It was like an anthology show, like kind of like the Twilight Zone, where like each episode was like a self-contained story, but it's like Robert Englund was in it at like the beginning and the end, like a crypt keeper sort of thing, like where he's like, "Hi everybody, this is the episode for the week." I can't do Freddy voice. But like, Freddy's Nightmares. Like 2 seasons from like the late 80s, 88 to 1990 or something like that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So Angel's dreaming, though, about all these bad things that he did.
Yeah, he's dreaming about his bad past.
Which, like, we know he was a really bad dude.
Yeah, he was one of the titular bad dudes in that video game Bad Dudes. You couldn't tell because they were so smallly pixelated, but
sure.
Did you ever play Bad Dudes?
Never even heard of it.
It was like Double Dragon kind of, but like not as fun and not as good of graphics.
That you don't know Double Dragon to me either.
Oh my god, Double Dragon was like one of the greatest games for the Nintendo Entertainment System.
Really?
Oh yeah, I loved Double Dragon.
See, I think Paperboy was one of the greatest games. Wow.
You probably also loved Joust, didn't you?
I never played that either.
Joust is actually pretty good.
Anyway. Trying to think. There were several like flashbacks / dreams with Angel in his past. Like
these dreams.
The worst one is when there's like he's at a party.
Well, okay. Do you want to tell him in order though?
If we have to, I don't really. I mean, like we certainly can.
Well, in the first one, I just think it's weird because in the first one, he's a vampire, but also some weird kind of bookie. Like, this guy is running away from him or whatever, and he, like, this Irish dude, and Angel catches up with him and talks in an Irish accent. Apparently, Angel just, like, adopts whatever accent of whatever country he's in.
No, he's Irish, originally.
Okay, well then why does he lose that accent at some point?
Because he spent a long time not in Ireland?
But that doesn't make sense. Like, once you reach maturity, like... I know people like that were born in England, right? And then they live in Germany, they live in the United States, 20, 30 years, 40 years they've been away from England and they still have an English accent. Because they lived there until they were like 18 or 19 years old. And once you've reached, like once your brain is fully like developed language, I don't think you lose that accent.
But he's hundreds of years old. Okay, we're not talking a few decades here. That's a long time.
I don't buy it.
And also, I mean, maybe they still have the accent, but I'm sure it's not as strong as it was. You do pick up the dialect of the people that you spend time around.
I think he's faking the American accent. Now I believe that he's just doing a fake American accent like the Beatles or something like that.
If he did a better Irish accent, I would believe that. But Unfortunately, David Boreanaz does not.
No.
It is pretty hard to listen to.
Hey, everybody, it's me, the Irishman. He's all over the place.
Yeah.
It's like Peter, whatever his name is, in Ghostbusters 2.
Okay.
Where he plays that one guy's like, where are you from? The Upper West Side. You know, he's doing an accent that I've never heard another human being have in their life.
Oh, goodness.
But anyway, yeah, he's all over the place with that accent. But the guy's running away from him. He's like, hey, you owe me money there, laddie, or whatever. And he's like, oh, I'm supposed to get married. I don't have the money right now. Well, you know what happens when you gamble and lose? You get bit by a vampire. Ah! And it's so weird.
No, he says, I'm going to take my payment one way or another. So he acts
it's like a porn.
Like taking his blood is his payment, which is kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
And yeah, a little dirty.
But anyway, so yeah, that's the first one. And then you go ahead and tell him your favorite one.
It's not my favorite. It's just the most fucked up. But he's at a party, and like this like maid or whatever, she thinks she's being sexually assaulted. You can tell that's what she thinks is going to happen to her.
Right.
When he's like, oh, we'll be quiet. We'll sneak off in the corner. And she's like, please, I can't lose this job. He's like, well, don't make a scene.
Don't be loud.
Right. And then, when she realizes, like, he makes his vampire face and she realizes she's going to die, and she's like, but I have a son. And he's like, oh, he'll be good dessert. Like, what an asshole. Like, he was such an ass.
The most disturbing thing about that dream, he had a mustache.
Yeah, it was really bad.
A terrible mustache.
Really bad.
See, the thing is, though, is like, there's an even more disturbing thing. It's just not in a scene. Like when he's being tormented by all the visions of all the people that he killed in the past. There's this one guy that just looks like, I don't know, like a generic 80s CEO. Like a guy whose main job is to impress a group of Japanese investors. But he's like walking around and he's like, he goes, at first I thought they were sleeping, but then I realized
oh God, I forgot about that.
They'd been arranged. Like they'd been set up, when I felt their cold, and I was like, what the fuck? Who would do this shit? And he's like, and then I felt your teeth or whatever on me, and he's like, but that's the thing is like, you're not just like a killer. You took pleasure in doing this.
Yeah.
You got pleasure out of being sadistic and all this shit.
He used the word artistry.
Yeah.
That's pretty fucked.
Vampire artistry, vampiristry.
We know that, like, Angel was one of the worst vampires, and so that's why he's being punished.
Well, we know it because we've been told it.
Yeah.
It is nice to see some of this stuff.
I guess, yeah. And Miss Calendar joins in the haunting as well.
Yeah, Marie Calendar's back. It's just after Thanksgiving. She's free again.
But, like, poor Angel is, like, hallucinating, too. He's not just dreaming. When he's awake, he's seeing, like, the ghosts of these people around him.
He sees Mr. Irishman.
Yeah. And he sees Ms. Calendar standing behind Giles. He shows up at Giles's house to ask for help.
He does. He's like, Giles, I fucking need help.
Does he not get it? Like,
where's he supposed to go?
But I mean, he killed Ms. Calendar, and apparently he also tortured Giles for many hours.
Yeah,
for fun.
We saw that episode. Do you forget that?
I remember him mentioning it, but I don't remember it happening.
When he was evil, like he was tortured, like in the episode where Buffy finally kills him, he kidnaps Giles and he's torturing him because he wants him to tell him like how to open the fucking thing or whatever, and he like because he can't figure it out. Mm-hmm. And then Giles is the one that's like, oh, it's fucking this or whatever. Yeah. It's your blood or something, or the blood of a virgin or whatever. So he takes Giles' blood. I don't remember what happens. But,
Giles is not a virgin.
No, not in your fan fiction, but
come on now. Miss Calendar at least took his cherry. But he was like the badass when he was younger.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he got some play.
Well, that's true. He had sex with Buffy's mom.
That's true too.
That comes up in this episode.
Kinda, yeah.
This Christmas episode.
And Buffy and her mom are shopping for a Christmas tree. Mm-hmm. They're discussing their Christmas Eve plans, and Joyce suggests that Buffy invite Faith.
Invite Faith. She needs to be in another episode contractually.
And She's like, Mom, do I have to? And then she's like, well, if we're inviting Faith, I bet Mr. Giles is by himself. No.
No, forget it. We don't need him.
He wants to be by himself.
Yeah. They must have made some sort of pact to never talk again.
It's so weird. That or like she feels like she can't trust herself to be around him.
Maybe, who knows? He is a good-looking older man.
Ew.
I don't know why they can't. I don't know why they don't just be together.
Yeah, I mean, like, it would make things a lot easier, I think.
They're both single.
And they both are very invested in Buffy.
Yeah.
So.
For different reasons, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Whatever. But also while they're there at the tree place.
Yeah, they're looking for trees. They're looking for a Douglas fir.
A random tree worker guy mentions how the trees are just dying and they don't know why.
Well, she looks over at them and like the creep music plays.
Sure, but doesn't it seem weird that this like older random tree worker is just like, hey, let me tell the teenage girl our problems?
Yeah, a bunch of them just up and died for some reason under this, over this place where nothing will grow above or below. He says.
Give you a great deal if you want one.
Yeah, if you want, why don't you buy all these dead trees? What did she want dead trees for?
Like firewood, maybe, I guess?
Maybe, I don't know. I feel like the pines and the firs, I don't think they burn that well. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't know much about it, but
you always hear about house fires.
I just know, what?
You always hear about the house fires.
And houses are made out of pine?
The Christmas trees going up in flames.
Yeah. I guess they are flammable.
Don't forget to turn off your Christmas lights, people.
Maybe they burn too fast.
Oh,
maybe that's why they're not good for fires. I don't know.
That could be.
All I know is that when we make fires, we have a bonfire and stuff like that, we don't use pine trees. Like they sell firewood and shit like that. It's never pine tree wood.
Well, that works.
It's like maple.
That works out for me though, because if it was, I would like die.
Yeah, you should. Carol's allergic to pine.
Yeah, and I like fires. So
if anybody wants to send us, if anyone wants to send us any gifts, you don't send any pine or basil.
And no tree nuts or
pesto,
pine.
Yeah.
Right.
It's pesto, right?
Yeah. Pesto is the one thing that has pine nuts in it that I've eaten and found that I was allergic to.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've never liked it, though. Even when I was a little kid and I tried it before, I was allergic to it. It's just gross.
Pesto. Huh? Love pesto, just can't have it now anymore.
Well, you can have it.
Well, I kissed you, though.
Well, you just don't kiss me then.
What?
For like an hour or whatever.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's not like...
That's all it takes.
It's not like I'm allergic to peanuts or shellfish. I mean, those are like more severe reactions usually.
Suppose, yeah.
I dated a guy who was allergic to shellfish, and I couldn't kiss him for like a whole day if I ate it. But
wow.
I don't think that's normal of most food allergies.
Interesting.
But anyway, sorry guys for the tangent there. So they're trying to figure out what is going on with Angel after they compare notes. At first...
Giles is like, fuck you at first.
Yeah. At first, Giles is like, I don't give a shit. Like, he knows something's wrong and he needs help, but he's just like, whatever.
But Buffy starts appearing in Angel's dreams.
Yeah. She's like there dreaming the same dreams as him. Mm-hmm. That's some fucked up shit. What is that about?
I don't know. That's a whole like Nightmare on Elm Street dream warrior, like... I'm going to pull you into my dream kind of thing. I don't know what's going on with that.
I think it's supposed to be indicative of like how close they are and how in love they are or whatever. Because I mean, it's not really explained in any way.
But yeah, he keeps seeing these visions and stuff like that. And then like at his place, the vision, like it's like a single entity, but it's changing into all these different people he's wronged and stuff like that. And they're going through all of the evil shit he's ever done to them in his life.
And
Angel's like, I don't know what the fuck is going on, but how to stop this.
Eventually they like tie him up.
Well, he says to them, what?
Don't they?
I don't remember that.
Was that fan fiction? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember that at all.
Okay, never mind.
But he says to Giles, he's like, why was I brought back? I should be suffering, being tortured for eternity. And Giles is like, yeah, you should be.
Yeah.
And he's like, but why am I here? I need to know. And Giles is like, I don't give a fuck while you're here. Why don't you get out?
Yeah.
And he kicks him out. But then, yeah, that's when Buffy is like, But Giles,
something's seriously wrong here.
He's so cute and in pain.
So he decides to do what he does best and research to try to figure out what's going on.
Let's read a bunch of shit, he says.
And it is Buffy and Xander and Willow all working together on this.
Xander comes up and he's like, I know I haven't been a good friend as far as like this shit goes. And I want Cordelia back, but she ignores me this entire episode. So not really much to say there.
No.
But he's like, so I'll help read stuff too.
The only thing with Cordelia this episode is that she decides to call him out in front of everybody about his family issues.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because she overhears him talking about how he's going to sleep in the backyard on Christmas Eve because he likes to look at the stars.
Yeah.
And she's like, I thought it was because of your family's drinking, that you're avoiding the drinking that goes on. Mm-hmm. He's like, yeah, that was a confidence I hoped you'd keep, but thanks for sharing.
Right. Yeah, it's really nice.
And so she's obviously like not gonna get over this, but
no.
Willow
tries to get under Oz.
Willow gets a visit from Oz.
Yeah,
and he decides to forgive her.
Yep,
which is crazy.
Yeah, I think so too. But she's like, and here's the thing: this pisses me off too. Why did this storyline ever happen? Like, it's so dumb and nothing, and it's like they both had relationships, and then they decide, you know what, we're going to make them super attracted to each other, and for no reason, and then they get caught, and for no reason they are no longer attracted to each other at all, and they can just be friends, and there's no leftover attracted to each other at all, and then she's going to get back with Oz, and like, did they just want to break Cordelia and Xander up? Like, was that the whole point of it? Because they could have found different ways to do it. Like, I was expecting there to be like a twist of like, oh, you guys were under a fucking spell, or like,
right,
or it was this, or it was that. Like, she didn't even get to do her anti-love spell, which I guess would like kind of make some sense or something like that. But it just feels forced and arbitrary because it comes out of nowhere. And then they just undo it with no consequence. Well, I mean, not with no consequences, but like with no consequences for the two of them. Where it's like, if that was real, even if they were regretful of getting caught and stuff like that, you would still think it would be hard for them to be friends.
For sure.
That like there would still be some attraction left over. But it's just like, it's like, oh no, we're back to the way things were before we started writing this. It doesn't make any sense.
Agreed. Yeah, they should still either be all over each other, or
at least it should be, and it could be like it could be a form of, or like a, you know, attention for the show or whatever. There should at least be some lingering something with them. It should at least be difficult for them to be with each other.
I mean, it's not even like they fucked and they can be like, okay, we got it out of our system. That didn't even happen.
Exactly.
So
yeah, weird. But Oz does forgive her and says, you know, I really fucking miss you, and I just want to be with you or whatever. And she's like, okay, well, you can come over to my house because my parents are out of town on Christmas Eve. Like, whose parents go out of town on Christmas Eve?
Well, probably a lot of people's, but I think they usually take them with them.
Yeah, like, it's so weird.
And like the fact that his parents let him go out on Christmas Eve, like, this is family time, people. Yeah. But
the other thing that strikes me out about this episode, real quick, just a random thing before we get to the rest of the main storyline, is that they pan across the library in one of the scenes, and we see there's a stocking labeled Mr. Giles in the library. And it's like, first of all, why do you have a stocking in the library? Is Santa going to leave you gifts in the library, Mr. Giles? And second, who made that? Did he make that for himself?
I don't think so.
Or did a high school kid decide to put Mr. Giles in glitter on a fucking sock and give it to him?
I feel like the Scooby Gang did it. Like somebody in the Scooby Gang, Willow or Buffy.
But they wrote out Mr. Giles and not just Giles?
Yeah.
All right. I'll tell you who did it. The set decorator did it.
Right. But okay, so back to Oz though and Willow, because we're not to the main storyline yet.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
He does go to her house, and she is all dressed up with the
no
candles lit, playing Barry Manilow. Is it Barry Manilow?
Barry White.
Barry White.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Can't get enough of Yola, baby.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
And she's just like, I wanna do it. I'm ready.
She says, human beings have 206 bones in their body, Oz, but I want to have 207.
Wow.
That's the kind of sciencey shit they'd say. And she's like, I want you to be my first time. Mm-hmm. And he's like...
And he'd said something earlier, I think, about not feeling special or whatever, so I feel like that was part of, like, her answer to that.
Yeah.
But he's a really good guy, and he's just like, don't take this the wrong way, but I'm not ready.
Yep.
And, you're gorgeous and whatever, but I want it to be because we both want to be together, not because you're trying to prove something. So,
right.
Which I think was really good.
So they just like cuddle and stuff.
And watch their Christmas movies or whatever they were going to do.
Or watch Home Alone.
So with the researching, though,
yeah,
they discover that the evil entity that's after...
Yeah, it's just called the evil.
Or is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Just evil.
It's just called the evil, yeah, or whatever. It's like, it's the first ever evil thing. Mm-hmm. It's essentially the devil, I guess, or whatever, but even, like, it predates the devil, I think. I don't know. But it's like, it's the first evil ever, essentially, and, like, all evil thoughts, evil deeds, that all derives from this. It's not a demon, it's beyond that.
And that's how evil Angel is, or was, when he didn't have a soul, that he has garnered the attention of this thing, that this thing wants him back in business.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
This thing's like, you were my fucking best. You were perfect, and I need you back.
So it's trying to get him, to tempt him with Buffy.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why she's in his dreams. I don't know, there is a sex dream at one point, too.
Yeah, there was a sex dream, yeah, because it wants Angel to, like, it's so weird because it's like torturing him with all this, like, evil stuff he used to be in. It's like, that's you evil. So this is what you need to do. You need to fucking, like, let it all out. You need to fuck Buffy again and then bite her in the neck and pour all your evil into her both ways.
It's awful. But yeah, I mean, that's exactly what it's saying. Instead, he decides he wants to kill himself. Yeah.
He's like, you know what? I'm gonna fucking stand in the sun. And the evil's like, that wasn't the plan. But it'll do.
That is a weird response.
Yeah.
I mean, since it wants him this bad, and it's just like, okay, go ahead and destroy yourself.
And that's the thing, too, is that, like, it doesn't seem like it really even cares about Buffy that much. At first I was like, oh, it's the evil. It wants to destroy the Slayer or whatever. But I don't even think it really cares. Mm-mm. It just wants to sow chaos.
Yeah. So he's outside waiting for the sun, and Buffy finds him, and they have... all the emotional talk that they always have.
You.
Yeah.
What about me? And you can't kill yourself and the fucking evil. And she goes to the evil before she goes to Angel, and she's like, I'll fucking kick you, evil. And evil's like, do you fucking know what I am? Like, I'm not, like, you can't kill me. I'm not a demon. Like,
right.
What's your problem? And, this also happens before she talks to Angel. Because when she talks to Angel, it's kind of like the end of the episode. But they find out that there's, like, these priests that summon the evil.
Oh, yeah.
And they work underground. And guess what? Nothing grows above them or below them. And she remembers the words of that dude. And she was like, oh, they're under the fucking Christmas tree place. So she, like, digs underground to the Christmas tree place. And... she finds them, and she, like, destroys their temple or whatever, and that's kind of it with the evil. Then she has that face-off with the evil, and the evil's like, you can't fucking get rid of me. Like, what are you thinking? And then she just leaves. And she, like, the evil's like, he'll be dead by sunlight, motherfucker. He's gonna die, ha 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 ha. And then she runs away to go talk to Angel, and, like, that's the end of the evil. Like, we never... talk to the evil or see it again, and it's like, I guess, I mean, it makes sense that she can't kill it. It's not even physical at all. But, like, so I guess it's just out there. It's just like, it's the idea of evil. Mm-hmm. It's like if your villain of the week was time. You know, like, hey, I stalk everybody, you know, eventually I catch up to everyone. I'm time.
So, yeah, that's weird. And it does seem like a very undefeatable foe, so, yeah.
It seems like, because it's a concept, essentially. The concept manifest in Marie Calendar.
But so Buffy goes to try to save Angel or whatever, and they have their annoyingly soap opera-y conversation.
But I want to die because I wanted to kill you. A piece of me I want you so bad. I wanted to fucking do it. I knew I was going to lose my soul, but I still wanted you. You're so hot.
And then, you know, it was mentioned earlier in the episode that it was 75 degrees. It was a balmy 75 in Sunnydale.
Because they're in California. Right. I didn't catch this right away.
And then it starts to snow.
And they're all looking at it like, oh my God, it's snowing. And then like Oz and we cross-dissolve to all the different people, and like Oz and Willow are coming out and they're like, oh my God, it's snowing. And like Xander's laying in his backyard, and he's like, "Hey, it's snowing."
In his sleeping bag, huddling away from the snow.
But I'm sitting there, and I'm like, "What the fuck? Why is everyone so amazed at snow?" Because we live in Michigan,
exactly,
where it snows all the fucking time.
It's snowing right now
in the winter, and like, all of a sudden, like, it kind of like occurred to me, and then Carol at the same time it occurred to me, it was like, because they're in California, moron. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right.
But the reason that it's amazing is it's literally a miracle, because they're like, we're not going to see the sun for the whole day.
Yeah, and by the way, that's not what it's like when it snows.
Yeah, there can still be sunshine and snow.
But yeah, like the news person comes on, the weather person, like, freak snowstorm in Sunnydale, California specifically. Mm-hmm. Looks like the sun's never coming up in fucking Sunnydale. Can you believe that? If you're a vampire trying to kill yourself in the sun, it looks like God just saved you. Yeah, we get it.
And then Angel and Buffy just walk off together, like, into the sunset, haha, but there's no sun.
But we get it. It's like, oh, the evil wanted to, like, kill him or whatever, but God defeated the evil because it's God. It's like, yay, I guess, go God. That's ultimately what we want to say with our show here. That's why we started this show, is to say, go God.
So, yeah, I mean, the only thing that matters that happened in this whole episode is that Willow and
the great and powerful
Oz get back together.
Yep.
Because, like, nothing else really matters or happened.
Yep.
No matter how much Buffy and Angel talk about their issues and try to work through shit, they can't work through it.
No, there's never any resolution.
No resolution. So just leave each other the fuck alone.
Yeah, I don't understand it. I don't even know why he's on the show anymore.
It's annoying. Yeah, I'm done with Angel.
Wow, done with Angel officially. Her biggest crush in the world, and she's done with him.
He is not my biggest crush.
Who's your biggest crush?
You.
Aw. Who's your second biggest crush?
I have no other crushes.
The listeners is the answer. But that is the episode for the week. Carol, tell people where to go to see the sun.
So you can write us at latefee1994@AOL.com.
Yep.
Check out our website at www.retrolatefee.com.
It'll be a sunny day if you do.
And share the tapes with your friends.
All right, we'll see you next time. Huh?
Bye.